Alrighty, how are we all? I hope you're all well. It is late in the afternoon here for me, and I've decided to head up into the mountains where the skies are a little darker and do a little bit of astrophotography. Well, to be completely honest, I have gone out 3 times to chase a comet that has been coming around over the last couple of weeks, and its time is drawing near. And the comet only comes around every 80,000 years, so it's not considered a periodic comet. Doesn't come around any more than once in our lifetime and many other people's lifetimes, but seems to be a pretty decent comet. So I figured I'd get out and shoot it, and I've been out to three different locations on 3 separate occasions, and no word of a lie, the last 2 times the sky has been completely clear, and around the time that I've had the chance to catch the comet, clouds have just rolled in from everywhere. So yeah, pretty annoying. But, apparently tonight it is going to be total clear skies for many hours, and so I'm not really going to take a risk. I'm trying to go up into the mountains where there's some darker skies than my area where I live. But yeah, I'm meeting a young fella up there that I've photographed the Milky Way with many years ago, and he's telling me that I need to get away from my area. It's just too much light pollution to be able to catch the comet. So yeah, I'm heading up there. My only issue with up here is that I normally would shoot the Milky Way, or any astrophotography in this kind of location. And the reason I say that is because, excuse me, there's not really any foreground interest to put in it. So what you get is it's a big open valley with some surrounding cliffed walls, and look, it just makes everything a little trickier depending on what direction the comet comes down. And when at the moment the comet's actually coming down not too far off the core of the Milky Way, so you should be able to catch the Milky Way in the top half of the frame, the comet in the bottom half of the frame. But that doesn't leave much of an option for foreground interest. And if I am actually able to include any foreground interest, I'm now talking a panorama, and not just a panorama but exposure blending as well, and it just becomes a nightmare. So while I want to, and I'm really not too sure what I'm going to do until I get up there, that's sort of the situation it is. Do I take 1 or 2 frames of maybe standing at this lookout point under the stars, the Milky Way and the comet in the background, and use me as the foreground interest, or point the thing straight into the sky with a minimal amount of foreground in the background. I really don't know. So we'll get up there and we'll have a look. It's definitely not a place I'd usually photograph in, but I've had 3 failed attempts with the weather, and I'm sort of running out of the chance to be able to photograph it before it's gone. And yeah, options aren't aren't of abundance, so I'm sort of running with what I've got for the darker sort of skies out here. Anyhow, I also have a short trailer coming up soon for another video that I'll release in a while yet. And I say a while yet because I've got to go back down there, because I took my son down there, and unfortunately when he jumped off one of the waterfalls his shoulder dislocated, and I ended up having to call on emergency services to get him airlifted out of there to hospital. So yeah, I only got part of that done, and I just feel like I need to do a bit of a retake on it. I may use some of the footage from the first part of the canyon, but we didn't get to do the second part of the canyon because yeah, I had to go and deal with help and help the emergency services to find him, locate him, and get him out of there. So yeah, that was an eventful day, that's for sure. Anyway, I will come back with yous when I get up to this lookout and have a bit of a look around and what's available, and see what the options are. We'll see you soon. We're here, and probably a few more people up here than what I expected, which is always hard to talk in front of the camera with other people around. But I've just had my long lens on, and shot a few sunset shots in behind me here. But I'll take you in and have a look. You've got some lovely layers with the mountains and rolling hills and some nice soft golden light peering across. So we'll go and have a look. Pretty hard to see in there on that like that, but I'll chuck up some of the shots if any of the shots are any good. But here they are. Let me know your comments and your thoughts, and yeah, we'll hang around and we'll wait until the night sky comes out. But I've shot it with my long lens out here with a low f-stop around 6.3, 7.1. That should suffice to get everything in focus out there. And yeah, let me know what you think of the shots. I think there's some lovely layers in there. Alrighty, so sorry I couldn't film all that with you guys. It was just, yeah, there was a lot more people up here than I expected that there would be, but had a blast. Got some, well, I think some pretty cool shots. Caught up with a young fella by the name of Luke, who I met quite a few years ago and haven't seen him for quite a while. It was good to see him. And met a new fella up here tonight. Yeah, he gave me a hand just helping me line the Comet up. I was overthinking a little bit and trying to make things more complicated than they needed to be. But look, same, I mean, it's the same concept is astrophotography. But you know, I guess you just look, the idea was that I wanted to how do I say it, a lot of the other people came up here and they just come in and dropped their tripod and took a photo out over the valley with a little bit of the valley showing in the bottom of the image. I wanted to do something a little bit more than that. So I mean I overthought it a little bit, but I didn't. But yeah, the idea was that I put there was like a lookout ramp there where you could walk down the rampway. There was just enough room for 1 or 2 people to stand on that lookout and look out over the valley. And there's actually 3 of them, but that one specifically had the Milky Way setting behind that, and the comet as well. So I shot. There was another photographer there standing there photographing. So I shot a silhouette of him with the comet coming through the sky just in twilight time. And then when he left, I changed my focal length to a wider focal length so I could include the rampway, the comet and the Milky Way as well. And I ran out and stood on that lookout, so I'm a silhouette underneath the Milky Way with the comet coming down to the right. Like, yeah, I get that the main subject was the comet, but you just can't resist to include the Milky Way in with it. It's just too good of an opportunity. And yeah, so it was a first for me to photograph a comet. So yeah, comet, Milky Way. Caught up with a few people who I haven't seen in a while, and somebody I met. But yeah, it was just with so much going on and so many other people up there, you know, you just can't be up and moving around up there with lights and all the rest of it. It ruins people's photos, and you know, some people get pretty upset with that. I myself don't appreciate it, so I just couldn't put any light on me to be able to talk to you guys through it. But yeah, I opened the aperture right up. I shot with a relatively fast shutter speed of 10 seconds, and I still picked my ISO up. Reason being is because I wanted some brightness at the I still wanted some brightness in the comet itself. I noticed some people were shooting with a pretty low ISO, and the comet itself looked very dull, and I'd rather have it a little bit, I guess you could say, a little bit blown out. I mean, what detail are you going to see in a comet anyway? Anyway, I feel pretty happy with the images, and it's 1/4. It's actually not too bad. It's 10:20, so I should be home by about 11:30, and yeah, I'll have some processing to do tomorrow. Hopefully they turn out good, because I'm pretty happy with tonight. But I'll load the images up and into the video. And again, I always appreciate the feedback, so you know, please do leave the feedback if you want to ask a question, or even if you just want to give me some honest feedback on it. It's always appreciated. And don't forget to do that cool stuff like you know, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, help my videos by doing liking them and subscribing. Anyhow, I'm in a pretty dark road back here, and these lights are a little blinding inside, so I shall push forward. And thanks for coming along for the ride, even though it wasn't a big one for the video. Take care, and I shall see you all again soon.